Hey, welcome to some Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. It has been a minute since I have done this, so accept, well, not an apology, but acknowledge the fact that I'm going to be a little bit out of tune with what I'm doing here. Okay, so two things fell towards Sun Snug Isle like arrows carrying some important message. I mean, they actually were carrying a message. Oh, they had to run in Xantrios. Okay, yeah, I guess that's what we were doing last, wasn't it? Xantrios. Da-da. Okay, the Frozen Seaway. Hot drinks, good stuff. Okay, so do we just have the Xantrios? Yeah, we do. Okay. Then these are kind of our extra ads. Gotcha. Okay, well, let's just check where we're at really quick. Yeah. I guess we don't have awful ice resist, which I think is going to be the most relevant here. So we're probably okay. I guess I'll just make sure. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so we're fine on inventory and stuff. So we'll just eat here before going on the hunt. And shrimp rice. Yeah, that sounds tasty. Jeez, okay. I haven't recorded anything for a second, so I was like, oh crap, did I just sit down and start talking to myself? But no, I've hit the record button, so. Although I'm doing it a little bit out of my regular scheduling, mostly just because work. And then when my schedule kind of like cleared up where I started to have the option to record more freely again, then I got sick. So that doesn't help. Alas, I'm feeling somewhat healthier now, and you know, it's nice to be feeling all right. Oh, that's pretty. Hmm. Can you feel the thrill of all new adventure just waiting for you? You don't say. Today is especially exciting. Wait, what was today again? Oh, right, the Meowster Hunters requested your help. Sounds like, let's see, they were left stranded by a Xantrios attack. Yowza. Well, they even submitted the request via a note tied to an arrow. That is so cool. Inventive little fellas, aren't they? Hurry up and find them. Oh, I almost forgot. First time in the frozen seaway, right? I guess congratulations are in order. Did you know that your stamina goes down way faster in a cold place like this? I bet you didn't. If you did, you surely brought along some hot drinks. Alright, so drink those. Don't die when it's cold. I guess I already have 5. So the ones they tried to give me are unnecessary. Cool. Alright, well, let's go and hunt a Xantrios. I guess we might as well take a hot drink right away. You can tell when you need one based on if your character has started to shiver. There are various, like, grades of cold, I guess is the way to phrase it. And if your character isn't yet cold, they'll just be standing normally. Oh, Ollie walked right into the Zamtrios, so that's cool. Oh no, they've gone away. They left you all to fight by yourself? At least they're safe, I guess, wherever they are. Anyway, when you're feeling up to it, you still got yourself that Zamtrios to hunt. Once that's out of the way, the monster hunter should be able to find their way to Sunsnug Isle. No problem. Okay. So we get to deal with Zamtrios here. Kind of cool dude. Kind of like a shark hybrid creature. I feel like I have fought these dudes before, but I don't think on this channel. I do. Did they pop up again in the DLC for World? I feel like they did, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Or did we only get like the Zamites and we didn't get the Zamtrios in Iceborne? I don't know, dude. Either way, I've been thinking about. I really do want to host Monster Hunter Frontier. And I've been hosting Minecraft for a good while now. And that's been going pretty well, but also like my server has tons of headroom. And I don't just want to like arbitrarily host games that aren't going to get playtime. But I think between me and a couple of folks that I know, Monster Hunter Frontier, especially if it had like all of the expansions, being hosted would be pretty cool. And truthfully, like, I think there's even like a convenient way to dockerize it nowadays is what I'm thinking. So we'll see. I don't know. I'd like to host it, but it's one of those things where I don't know the stability of it, right? And it's not like it's getting updates, so unless I wanted to take on the management and development of it myself, who knows? I think there are a few projects of people who are basically doing that. So, something I've learned from the software industry is sometimes you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to go and look at someone who's done it for you and then pay the fee to use what they've made, or become a contributor and help them build it for the right to access it. Always a nice move. There's like a very popular meme by XKCD. It's like the guy who does those like Stickman comics. They're usually about like something sciencey or nerdy. But they reference, like this big stack of modern software and the infrastructure and the architecture that hosts the internet. And then way at the bottom, there's like some essential little sliver that's holding up everything, even though it's not that big itself. And it's like some random project maintained by some dude in Nebraska. And the entire internet relies on it. And there's a few different versions of that core thing. But sometimes, especially if you're dealing with something like that core thing, and I think the most common example is like FFmpeg, which is a video encoding piece of software, as I understand it. But it handles the bases of like video encoding and decoding across the internet and YouTube, and almost everything uses it because it's such an essential piece of software. And I could be overly simplifying, but either way, when you're dealing with something that's like really random or bespoke, but it holds up everything, sometimes instead of trying to recreate that and split the effort of people who are working on solving that problem, it's better to just combine forces. Ah, darn. But I know as well that I've seen a project that focuses on. Ooh, nice. I got the thing. Can I remember the buttons to not die? I can. Yay. Yeah, I saw a project of someone porting the server side code for Monster Hunter Frontier to a Linux server system. I think it was Ubuntu specifically, which is perfect for me because I can use that. Uh, but one of the issues is it was probably run on some sort of like custom server system, right? Or maybe use Windows Server or something. As far as I'm aware, Monster Hunter Frontier wasn't hosted on Linux, so there was a little bit of an effort getting it to run there properly. And maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, I've only seen a lot of people looking at how to do it, which suggests it wasn't natively done. Because by and large, anyone who's already, you know, Linux is getting more popular now, but I think even then it's getting popular within the sphere of people who are already looking at and interested in computer stuff. It's not like your mom is going to build a Bazite PC anytime soon, or, you know, pick out her own Arch system and recompile the kernel. Like, it's not. If you think that's popular, you're very, very deep into a niche hobby. But because of that, I figure anyone who's looking at Linux to host an old video game server is both aware of how that works and what the, you know, the server side code is looking for. So if it's not just like a run this file and point it at the right directory, it suggests to me that it was running on something like Windows Server or whatever. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm crazy. Or maybe it's running on some custom server hardware, which probably seems more likely. Alas, it's old now, like the game, and I'm pretty sure even the like specs to run it, like client side, aren't very intense. I think it takes like a 512 gigabyte VRAM GPU and can handle now probably like 12, 15-year-old hardware as like the recommended spec. So I don't think it's, I can't imagine the server side equations are that intense if that's like what it takes to run, but you never know. The world can mystify you, right? Like Minecraft can be a bunch of pixels, and yet there's definitely times or mods or ways to handle Minecraft to make it an inefficient mess if it arguably isn't already in some places. I think that's the nature of Minecraft doing everything a little bit different. Like it does a lot of stuff very bespoke, even internally, which adds to the diversity of how the gameplay feels, but also probably means that mechanically it's a bag of chaos, which is fine. I think Minecraft has an incredible staying power. Like I've played it probably every single year since it's come into alpha. I remember Infiniminer being a thing or being talked about in magazines. I don't think it was ever released, right? But it was talked about and shown pictures of, and people were excited about this concept. And yeah, just incredible staying power. There's some other games that I think people are going to be playing forever. I think RimWorld is a really good example of that. I don't know. Like Monster Hunter definitely has its appeal, and I think people who are fans of it are probably always going to be fans of it. But it's definitely more niche. I don't think it has like the universal staying power of something like Minecraft, and it definitely doesn't have like the curb appeal. It's much more you have to like buy into the system and get used to the quirks, and then you start having fun. And there's tons of games that are really good despite that, and do have their staying power. But we'll see. I've been thinking for a while, even as a longtime fan of Monster Hunter, and especially even as someone who's been like going back and playing on the games historically like I am now. The series does need to like evolve, and I don't think it's evolving in the way that it should. And I'm not someone who's like upset that Monster Hunter is trying to have a story. And even in this game, that's still true. And the game's always kind of had like a through line of events, and now it's just getting more cinematic. You could argue that the story is pretty much the same, give or take, a few character moments every single game. And the presentation of that same story is really all that's changed. But Monster Hunter is like a really mechanics heavy game. I definitely think it needs to evolve just beyond kind of being about all the fights. I don't know, Monster Hunter, right? But it's not like Monster Gladiator, I think there's some like life simulation, slice of life RPG stuff that it should lean into even more. If it's not going to make the story kind of have a greater impact. Because like making it more cinematic doesn't mean it's more impactful, right? And I think that's probably why a lot of people are excited about Monster Hunter Stories 3, because it looks like they're really pushing that like world building angle that could make it really engaging and rewarding to pay attention to the story. Whereas like even as someone who really likes the games, a lot of the story, even now and in the modern titles, you kind of just sort of like, the story serves the purpose of guiding you between fights. And sure, if you're being like really cynical, that's what every story and every video game with combat does. But it doesn't have to feel so much like you're kind of like on a guided path. There could be something to be said for like wanting to go and do a hunt, or maybe if you're trying to tell a dramatic story, maybe not wanting to go for a hunt but still having to do it for some reason. I don't know. I just think maybe it's just me, maybe it's just someone who's, I've played so much of the game that it all kind of blurs together a little bit. But after, 10,000 hours of swinging around different weapons, and I know I always pick greatsword in this, I don't actually find changing up the weapons to be that significant of a gameplay difference. I know some people really do, but personally, I only somewhat do. And I've played all the other weapons mainly for like arena challenges and stuff like that, which is mandatory. But yeah. Oh, is this guy like already limping? I completely forgot to paintball him though, so that's on me. Well, it wasn't important. Oh, well, okay, gotta go sharp in here. Yeah, maybe it's just what I'm craving for Monster Hunter, but I do think we need, like... We're getting a lot of the monster in the games. And, that is half the title. But I think diving back into a little bit of the hunter would be just as satisfying. And more, not just in like the, you kill things for a living, but, maybe how did you get those skills in the first place? Like, I've long thought a kind of like Monster Hunter Academy kind of game would be really fun, where you have to like start off and you're maybe someone who's, maybe you like have some sort of like anime traumatic, your whole family is killed by something, and then you go and want to go to the school to learn how to fight monsters to, avenge your family. And throughout the process of learning about monsters and learning how to fight them, you learn that they're not that much different from us, and, the cycle of life and everything about nature. And you can kind of appreciate the role of what's happened, but then you can still realize that maybe the one who hurt your family was deviant and does need to be called, and that's part of the balance. I don't know. It'd just be more interesting to like have some story attached to the fights that's more than just this is the next big bad thing to kill. Go kill it. Cool. Well, we've killed the next big bad thing. So Zamtrios probably has some decent gear. Though we are still in low rank, so we take things as we need them. But otherwise, nothing to worry about too much, right? I wonder if I can mine. Oh no, that's a mining point. I probably won't make it though. No, okay, I did get 2 Machalites. That's actually pretty sick. Cool. Cool. Hey, thanks for being there for the head whiskerous. I made a little arrangement with the guild farm for you as a meow way of saying thanks. Now you can go on a harvest tour in this area. There are 2 quests, Harvest Tour Primal Forest and Harvest Tour Synergy Seaway. I hope that helps you out, because you really deserve it. That's cute. Okay, let's go and we'll quickly see if we can upgrade anything here. No. Okay. Cool. Nothing there. Yeah, let's go to the house. And we'll put away what we have. Hey, great. Cool. Okay, so we need some of those, some of those. Okay. Cool. All right. So we're pretty well put back together here. Cool. So I imagine we kind of just have to complete quests otherwise now to unlock stuff. This one looks like it's gonna complete like a villager request. So let's go do the slag toth oil quest. Yeah, I think last video I was mentioning how I've been doing jujitsu. And I'm gonna go. I've been going for a while now. Been keeping at it. I'm not good yet. I'm learning. I've been reading a book about it because I'm a nerd and I think that's how you get good at everything. I think these are slagged off. So I've been reading Jujitsu University. It's actually it's pretty interesting. It's kind of like the recommended a book for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it does seem to be that the guy who is writing it is incredibly accomplished. But I think it more than just the techniques and stuff. I needed to understand and need to understand the mindset that you bring into this type of thing and sport in general, because I've just done phenomenally little about uh, that whole world. And I realize, like, when I'm going to the gym and I'm talking to the other people and we're sharing experiences and like, oh, have you done any martial arts outside of this, or have you done any, wrestling and stuff? And a fair amount of people, and maybe it's just you're attracted to doing this type of thing if you've already done it or you have exposure to it. So that's variable for sure. But equally, it just does seem like, people have done a lot more athletic stuff than I have. I'm very much on the lower end of that spectrum. And it's fascinating to see, especially how broad people's interests are. But because I haven't had as much exposure to that type of thing, I'm just as much focused on like what is the right mindset to have, what's appropriate, what am I trying to do other than like be healthier? What are other people thinking? And that's something that's like probably automatic to a lot of people, but is a learned behavior for me. So having a way to think about martial arts and the somewhat hostile nature of doing a role for jujitsu, and even drilling sometimes can feel really like rough uh, if you're not conditioned to that type of interaction. But it's fine. It helps to read folks talk about this type of thing. And clearly, if there's this many books about the topic, I'm not the only one who is curious about studying the topic and the sport, I guess you could say. But I'm so like, I guess I'm more attracted to the term martial art than I am sport, even if both technically apply. Because sport has always kind of meant something bad to me. I'm not really overly competitive, which is actually, I think, funny enough, one of the things that's attracted me to jujitsu is because even though there's obviously like huge competitions that feature it and like MMA and stuff, almost everyone has some exposure or training in jujitsu. But that's not really it. I like the part of it that lets me independently kind of learn something that I don't know and practice that and see it develop, and that's what's really satisfying for me. So the competition part doesn't really come into it as much, especially because at least where I go, drilling and learning the technique correctly is just as important as being able to like get a submission in a roll or something like that. So yeah, I like the process of self improvement. You know, like that age old quote, like there's nothing impressive about getting better than somebody else. The really impressive thing is about being better than you were. You know, I'm butchering that quote, but the concept is there. Really seeing and beating yourself is a greater accomplishment than just like pointing at someone and going, "Oh, I'm better than them," even though every now and then we all do that too. Mm, okay, I think I got the oil I need, right? I only need 5? Cool. I can make my way back home. Yeah, the day that I'm recording this, and actually it's probably gonna go out in like a few hours because of it being Wednesday tomorrow. Uh, the day after that is the Game Awards. And I'm pretty curious. Ooh, this is pretty. I like the butterflies. Nice. Yeah, I'm really excited about the Game Awards. I have no idea what to expect because a lot of the stuff that I've kind of been looking forward to has been announced or released. Uh, I think like everyone, like who wouldn't play Half-Life 3, you know, if it came out after all this time, you're pretty much obliged. I don't really care about Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, I'll probably buy it when it comes out. I'll play it. Uh, But like, I'm in no rush. When it happens, it happens. I don't think the new Elder Scrolls is gonna get anything. People are talking about that a lot because of some like demon picture in the desert, but hmm, I don't know. I feel like given the show that's been happening, if they're gonna fast track anything, it's gonna be the next Fallout game. Because that's where the money is. We might see a remaster of Fallout 3 get announced. But I think Bethesda kind of likes to like announce and then release stuff now. They don't really want to wait. So cool. Hey, behold the eye-watering spectacle that is the new Iborium. Thanks to you, I have more carts with which to conduct the wheeling and the dealing. This means more transactions. Ah, plus I got this fluffy butt cushion. Happy faces all around. Cool. Hmm. Cool. All right. Well, that's all good information. Yeah, I actually got a fair amount of stuff there, didn't I? That's cool. I do not mind having to go and drop some things off. It all loads pretty quick. Honestly, I cannot begin to dive into how this specific situation is enhanced by any loading technique. Like, does the fact it's loading off an SSD make any benefit in this case? Marginally, maybe. You know, there's some things where, like, you can only enhance the hardware side so much, and if the core component or the code itself, you know, in the feature or the loading mechanism is only designed to go so fast, giving it the speed, it doesn't know to use it. So sometimes stuff can only be enhanced so much. That's life. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess the Lagombi. I feel like the Zamite fight might be relevant too. So we can go do that. Zamite are just the smaller version of the Zamtrios, so this shouldn't take very long. I don't know, I'm gonna go this way just to see what's up, yeah. You know what I wouldn't mind happening in the Game Awards? I would like a DLC announcement for Dragon's Dogma 2. Because that was actually a very good game that I just feel... Okay. Yeah, I just feel like the game made some really weird choices that probably made it tougher for people to appreciate than it should have. Because mechanically, I think it's solid. It's actually a pretty fun game. Uh, there was one or two things that probably could have been better explained, but that's neither here nor there. But the fact that a significant amount of the story was locked behind knowing how to get a secret ending, and then like entire new areas and world events occurred behind that secret event trigger, and like the true ending was a path that probably, depending on how you did it, took another 10 to 20 hours to beat that section. Like, it's such a weird thing, but it's so fitting for the game as well to hide this true ending behind that path. And being able to do that does make the game tremendously enjoyable, and it is tremendously enjoyable regardless. Like, I didn't actually play that one on PC, and I heard it was really CPU throttled on PC, and I don't know. Everyone's expectations, you know, I have a pretty strict opinion with that type of thing. I think some people have demands of their PC that don't match the specs that they have. Oh, we can see a cutscene? Something fancy? Okay. Cool. Now the real question is, do these little ones count? Or am I just being pointlessly cruel by fighting them as well? Oh, no, they count. Sorry, little one. Did he, like, latch on to me and then grow in size? That's pretty cool. Alright, let's go this way. Nice. Oh, hey, monster guts. That's awesome. Monster guts have lots of applications. Ooh. Alright, well, that is... I think that's one more remaining, right? Yeah. Now the question is, where is that one? I guess we'll circle around and find it. Or not. This is a pretty little area, though. Okay, and we'll go up to area 6 this time instead of 4. See if that makes anything better here. No. Hmm. Oh, Dragonite is possible to get here? Interesting. Okay, well that does change one or two things. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Cool. I thought maybe it'd be like... I guess Gracium is actually a higher rank material than Dragonite, isn't it? Yeah. Or Easium. Any of those options. I should have been bringing my bug catching stuff out too, because now I need killer beetles and I can upgrade to a Ravager blade. So definitely should be a priority for me. Oh, well, I'm glad I grabbed the pickaxes. Cool. Might seeds are actually pretty useful. I'm probably not going to use it right now, but they do have that value. Alright. Yeah, I'll have to look at where killer beetles are in this game. And then if we grabbed enough Dragonite even there, I don't know how much we need. I thought it was maybe 3, in which case we do have enough, but I might be wrong. Ooh. Am I supposed to go back out here? Yes. Okay, I can spare a Meowmint. Thanks to your help, the Meowmonster hunters made it safely to the Isle. The ace has taught you well. So what are you waiting for? Go hire them. By the way, I told Mother Meow that you helped me out, and she was very impressed. She said she had a favor she wanted to ask of you. Do you think you could hear her out? Oh, you want a special favor too. I have. Yeah. Cool. Oh, okay, these are kind of like the boats and stuff. Cool. Cool. Yeah, get out of here. All right. Oh, I'm doing something. Okay. Oh no, they lost. Well, then Durcella's gonna beat the crap out of him, right? Okay. I don't really understand, but cool. Okay. All right. Oh wow, there's a lot of people now with things. Well done, Kindred Hunter. Did the monster hunters make it out safely? You know, little Miss Forge approached me with a wild idea. If Cathar is on top of the highest mountain, then all we have to do is fly there. Flying? Obvious, ain't it? I can't believe we didn't think of it sooner. Don't look at me like I'm gonna sprout wings. You and I are gonna build a capital C, an airship. I told the others, and once they'd had a good laugh and blinked a few times, they said they're behind the idea. Bless 'em. So to make a long story short, once you've taken care of Chico-san's chief's troubles, let's head back to Hearth. I can picture us now doing loop-de-loops and drawing a big C up there in the great blue sky. Okay. Thank you so much for giving your time to the head whiskeress. She was so happy. I can't remember the last time I've seen her beam like that. I'd like to repay you somehow, so I thought long and hard. How about this? Why don't I arrange to have better ingredients delivered to the street cook's kitchen? Would you like that? While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and expand the kitchen too. It's the least I can do. Unfortunately, when I sent some of the crew to fetch the ingredients, they ran into a monster called the Najarala. Excuse me, the Najarala is a clever and cunning customer. My felines and I will have a hard time getting rid of it. But perhaps you could hunt it for us. Would that be a bother? If you manage to chase off the Najarala, I'll see you get the ingredients in a bigger kitchen. Before I forget, let me run you through the basics of Palico equipment. Okay, so you need scraps. Yeah. You can also like turn stuff into scraps typically. Oh man, the Gormagala stuff looks so sick. We are definitely going to build a set of that. Damn, look how good that looks. Can we get the headset? No. Alright, that's fine. And then, yeah, look at that. Everything except for the killer beetle. Okay, well, that makes me curious. Where is the killer beetle? Oh, I have a quest for you from the Chico-san's chief. She needs you to hunt Najarala. Okay, cunning monster doggedly chases down its prey. Started to prowl just a little too close to the village. Alright, well, makes sense. We can do that, but not right away. I want a new sword. So let's go see if I can track that down really quick. Killer Beetle. MH4U. Area 1 of the desert. And they're not very common. Okay. Is the Sunken Hollow the desert? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. Oh, let's go check, and if not, we'll learn pretty quick there. Nah, I don't think this is it. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty deserty. And if this is it, apparently there's only 2 insect spots. So let's see. This is not one. Just an herb spot. This feels... Yeah, like the wrong area. Hmm. Shame. Yeah, I don't care about, Oh, I might have been Googling the wrong game. Yeah, I was totally looking at the wrong game. Okay, so I guess I should take the frozen tour here. And we'll poke around for bug spots on this map. Oh, this music very much is inspiring the Christmassy feeling right now. Which is not a bad thing. I like Christmas. I totally understand that not everybody has a positive experience with the holidays, so it doesn't like resonate for them, but it always has for me. I just like the cold too. So I think, you know, any season where I know it's going to be cold, I'm a big fan of. Okay, I'm not seeing any bug spots really. I imagine the like warm area might have some. Okay, those are bug spots. I'm actually going to I usually don't hunt the felines, but I don't want them trying to steal my stuff while I gather bugs. Cool. All right. Let's get some killer beetles, hopefully. They're very unlikely, as I understand it. But glue hoppers are good too. Oh, there we go. One killer beetle. But we'll poke around. We'll try. And yeah, I think I need the glue hopper too. So it's kind of, that's pretty convenient. And then blue rock deposits. That clearly has a chance of dragonite. So those are worth going through if we get the chance. Might as well get some bones. If we can get anything other than mystery bones here. No. Hey, I'm not seeing anything that we need to get there. Nothing here. I can try and get some more Mocholite, but I'm not going to stick around longer than I have to. Ooh, a blue one. Okay, we'll definitely mine that. Light crystal will definitely be useful as well. So really nothing bad about that. Okay, we'll check area 4, then pop back out. Oh, yeah, there's a blue mining point. Why not? Okay, and now we'll go into this warm area, which hopefully has at least one bug harvesting area. Oh, I went to the wrong one somehow. Okay. Yeah, at least one. Okay. Well, I guess that's that. I got one killer beetle. But I know where to get them. Where did I get two? I don't know. I got one. But more progress than I expected, frankly. Because I think it's like an 8% drop rate. Um... And there we go. I mean, getting some more Dragonite ore is pretty cool. Cool. All right, folks. Well, that sets us up for the future there. Not enough to make our new weapon, but worth doing before we go and do any other big quests. Got the Ravager Blade going, which is a pretty awesome sword. Sick. All right. Well, thanks for watching Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. See you around.